RTV, certainly the best.
RTV, certainly the best.
Right now, I know that you are so familiar with that visuals that are there. When you see it, you hear it, of course, you know that it's time for our program, Ultimate Program on Television, this morning on ITV, Wednesday's edition. And my name is Evan Sunokuge. You're welcome on board. I'm not alone this morning. I have my co-anchors right here. Yeah, and Oluwakbo is right here, and also Wisin on my show. I'll start from the lady. Lady, good morning.
Good morning, Evans. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Except the fact that I'm not happy about something. You know, it happened yesterday. Anyway, Wisin, good morning.
Good morning, Evans. Why are you not happy about his politics? You understand.
I don't like when
you should understand this was
stories. You know, when bad stories come from Edo State. I mean, it emanates from Edo State. I really don't like it. I mean, I think we should understand. We should know that we need to keep our peace here. You know, if it happens in Lagos, people may see it. You know, they won't really look at it that way. If it happens elsewhere, but once it happens in Benin City, in Edo State, people begin to look at it differently. I mean, imagine, you know, gunshots at the residence of a former governor of the state, a former national party leader, you understand? Then a presidential candidate of a party, you know, there, and gunshots. I mean, I have the opportunity to work in Government House. The security formations around the premises of Chief John Odige Oyego, there are about 4. Right. You have the Edo State Police Command headquarters is close there. You have the DSS office is close there. You have the 4 mechanized brigade headquarters is close there. Then, of course, you have the Edo State Government House as its own security formation is there. I mean, what are we talking about? What are we saying?
Honestly,
go ahead.
I want Wilson to respond first because I know he has a lot of things to say. But honestly, it's really a sad one, just as you said, and I don't think we even saw this coming, especially as we move towards the 2027 general election. Yesterday, what we saw happen in Benin, listening to one of the ADC chieftain, Kenneth Okonkwo, he said a lot as to how they came for an event where the defection or the moving of the former governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Olumide Akpata, into the ADC was on, and they got feelers that something bad would want to happen, so they quickly moved over to the former governor of Edo State, Chief Odiego's house, and right there, the same guys trailed them down, and they were shooting sporadically. I mean, you did see the video online. Shots, gunshots at the gate, vehicles were destroyed, and it says a lot about the political tension as we move over to the 2027 general election. Now, a lot of questions to be raised. Who are those behind it? But let's not also forget that prior to now, allegedly, it was in the news that Edo State Governor did allege that the ADC are the ones behind cultism in the state, and the ADC came out to debunk it. A lot of things to talk about. Now, what does this mean, basically? It raises political tension as we move towards 2027 general election. Also, security concerns, not just for the citizens, but also for political bigwigs, I love to put it, especially the opposition parties in Nigeria. And then there's also the talks as regards democratic implications and also political narrative battle. A lot of things to talk about on this, tragic incident.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, you get to hear people saying is the APC, is the APC, is the APC. But the thing is, Joseph, take a look at what really happened yesterday. If what you said is correct, actually, again, it's very much correct about the security formation. I won't blame political parties. Rather, I'm going to heap the blame on the security architecture.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand? Now, the thing is that you just can't say, is the APC, is the PDP, is the LP. Don't forget that on the news, a captain of the ADC said, yes, some persons were shot out. People can be aggrieved.
Now, listen.
Do you understand? People can really be aggrieved. It could be from the same house that's been fractured. Because I wouldn't want to say, is this party, is that party? No, this time around, I'm going to follow the security operations say that they have the right to protect and serve. Where were they when this started happening? You understand? It says someone just came on a registered car, they came outside, they shooting sporadically. You talk about security formation. Where were they? It could be from anybody. This is politics. Some can do something just to whip up sentiments.
That's the question I'm asking. I mean, for such thing to have happened close to 4 security formations.
Formations? 4. Think about
the Edo
it.
State Police Command headquarters close by. Just some, it's not up to a kilometer. Maybe some meters close by. The DSS office close by. The Edo State Government House close by as a military information.
And it happened.
Then 4 mechanized brigade headquarters in Benin State close by. I mean, what are we saying?
So if that can happen, it depends on this person's, how safe are we in Edo State?
That's the question. That's the
question.
question. Now, ordinarily, when you make a gunshot in Chief John Odige Oyegun's house, it's close to all these places. Ordinarily, when you make a gunshot, you ought to hear in Government House. I expected the security men in Government House yesterday to come out and find out what happened. I mean,
so at the end of the day, what are you?
If you hear a gunshot in the city of,
what are you insinuating in all of this? Yeah, that's the question. What are you insinuating in all of this? But let's not forget.
I'm just analyzing the whole thing.
Right, of course. Well, still staying on analyzing. Let's talk about the aftermath of this. Kenneth Okonkwo, one of the ADC chieftains, said after the whole incident, the Commissioner of Police in Edo State, according to him, went to the premises to meet with Chief Odige Oyegu right there. But what happened afterwards, we do not know. I said now Edo State government has not come out to clarify or to even make a statement as regards to it. So we are waiting for a statement from them. But let's not also forget, prior to this, I think it was last year when we saw in the news that the governor of Edo State did state that I think he categorically said, Peter Obi, he shouldn't come to my state without getting security clearance from me. Now, a lot of persons on social media are falling back. No, I'm not insinuating anything, but I'm just giving you the feelers online right now. A lot of persons are saying...
You know what? Now, from what you said, it said, look, they got feelers. They have this, something's going to happen. They relocated, and the same thing happened. Why didn't they work on the information that they got? Why not? Hold on, because it was about security challenges. You understand it? If you get on the information about security situation, you act on it. Why didn't you shift to the venue?
I mean, they were already at the venue, at the premises when they got the fillers, and then they had to move out for safety. But the same guys followed them down there.
Why not just shift 8? You heard it. This is being planned. This will be orchestrated. This must happen. Why didn't you move the meeting?
Listen, you don't start making security preparations.
It's just question I'm asking. You're asking questions.
Because you heard that Peter...
Now, who would give us all the answers to this question?
Right now, security is something that it ought to be there at any time.
Fine.
But hold on.
Does it not mean that we don't have security presence there?
But that's
the question we're asking.
Let's not forget
They're not
that.
there.
That's the question we're
Just
asking.
take a look at the bullet shots, sporadic gunshot, cars
Horrible.
destroyed.
It's
You
the
have
question we're
policemen
asking.
there. You have personal security
No
there. So what
arrest
went
was
wrong?
made, nothing.
No, well, we haven't gotten
And the gunshot
any.
was not once. Look at the pellets on the ground. There are more than 5, 6 pellets on the ground.
The catcher
Not
is
one
there.
gunshot.
Multiple gunshots.
you,
You know what I know? Now,
Wilson,
if you listen to this
sorry.
interview, he said, yes, it's true. Some persons were shot out because they're not members of our party. Those persons might just be, I'm not saying they are, might just be one or two people that might just have a hand in this.
No, so
Why
far so
accusing
good.
Have the hands
ruling
in-
political
in
party?
shooting
Is this
themselves.
party? Anything can happen. You
Make
can
it make
inflict it on
sense.
yourself to whip up
Anyway,
sentiments.
we have Messelina. Messelina is in Lagos. Mercy, good morning to you, beautiful Mercy. Okay, we'll start with Lagos. Mercy, very good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Evans. Good morning, Wilson. Good morning, Anu. You know, I saw what has been trending. I saw the video on social media yesterday, and also this morning I saw on the news that Edo State government, they described the whole thing as false and malicious claims by the former Anambra State governor and Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. You know, he said it is false and malicious. You know, what has been trending on social media since yesterday, a lot of persons are saying that, you know, because the governor of Edo State already told Peter Obi that, okay, if you're coming to my state, you need to inform the security, you know, you need to inform the security that you're coming to Edo State. And a lot of persons are actually using that against the Edo State government, saying, oh, you know, you already told Peter Obi that if you're coming to my state, you know, you need to inform the security personnel and all of that. And is that the reason why, you know, these thugs went to attack them at Odege's house yesterday? And some speculation saying that, oh, it might, I mean, if you go to the internet, you see a lot of blame or speculation saying it's the ruling party, the APC, they have a hand in this and all of that. And it also boils down to insecurity in the country. Like Wilson had been saying, all those security personnel, or Evan said earlier, you know, where were they at that moment? I know we don't need to blame, at the same time, we would not want to blame these people, but if you should look at it in another way, we still have to, you know, blame the security personnel. We were there at that moment. So, you know, the whole thing has been trending. It is really, really sad to see that this incident happened in Edo State, coupled to the fact that the governor has already won, or should I say, told the presidential candidates, Peter Obi, that whenever you're coming to the state, inform the security architecture that you're coming to my state and all of that. And this whole thing happened yesterday, and people are blaming the Edo State government and all of that. Okay, well, basically from Lagos today, we would be looking at the exit of the IGP, the Inspector General of Police, Egbetukun, you know, his resignation. And it was by Tunji, you know, by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And it's the new leadership, will it help curb insecurity? Because whatever we are talking and discussing in Nigeria currently still boils down to insecurity in the country. So will it help? This new leadership, will it help? What will it? And a lot of persons have been saying that, you know, the former IGP of police, that he's been overdue in the office, that he should be, you know, he would have resigned ever since, and is still at the office. And now, you know, people are saying he's been overdue. This new leadership, will it help curb insecurity in the country? So basically, that is what we'll be talking about today in Lagos.
All right, so beautiful question there. So we just keep our fingers crossed to see whether the new IGP now, whether he will really, you know, curb the insecurity issues in the country.
Actually.
All right, so let's go over to Abuja, where we'll have Tolu Lokbe. Yeah, Tolu, good morning.
A wonderful morning to you, and I listened to you guys discussing this morning about what transpired in Edo State right there. Is there a reflection of what we are going to look forward to in 2027? That does not send the right statement. going forward right there. And I think our policy should be able to embrace all parties, no matter our affiliation. And I think Edo State should also set the benchmark when it comes to that, knowing that they are a heartbeat of the nation, and really start talking about what really went down. But I just hope that that will be the last of what we're going to see of that kind of dastardly act going into 2027 election. If this could have happened for election that has not been held, then you could imagine what would be like in 2027 when the election campaign is a different level. But we just hope that the security apparatus put in place, especially with the new IG, can be able to put machinery in motion to ensure we do have a repeat of this act. But still, moving away from that and talking about election from the Federal Capital Territory, we'll surely be taking a look at the fallout of the last primary local government election. Is that going to be a reflection of what it will be like across the country? We'll be taking a look at that and also looking at the dominance of APC in the Federal Capital Territory. It's unprecedented where the ruling party dominates the federal local government election in the Federal Capital Territory. But for the first time, we had the ruling party totally dominating 5 out of 6 right there. Was that going to be a is that going to be a reflection of what will be happening across all the states in Nigeria going to 2027, and also a reflection of the presidential election, or it will be a totally different ball game entirely? Putting into consideration the major opposition party talking about ADC has not been able to reveal who their presidential candidate will be and who may likely be standing come 2027, but we know that there are major political juggernauts that will be battling to outdo each other in a bid to get that ticket. So a lot of people are looking forward to see how that will pan out, and especially when you put into consideration the man Peter Obi visited in Edo State, knowing he was one time a stalwart of APC. Now also fraternizing with the candidate of ADC is also a lot of questions being asked when it comes to that. This will also determine what will happen right there. But, so those are the things we'll be looking at this in the federal from Abuja Network Studio. Evans.
Thank you, Tolo. Now, for us at Independent Television and Radio, we don't have any side. We don't have any opinion. All we do is to follow the issues as they unfold. We are not PDP, we are not ADC, we are not APC. That's just the way it is. So we don't have any political party that we belong to. We explain the issues as they unfold, and we also give you the opportunity for you to react to them. Well, from Benin this morning, we're going to be looking at the 2027 election and talk about youth mobilization, the election as a civic responsibility, and see how the youths can be mobilized for this forthcoming election. All right, so we'll take a short pause now. We'll take a short pause now. We'll see. Yeah, sure. And also we'll join the corporate trainer, Inoyata Nusakai, for his corporate world. Please stay tuned.
Inuagata no Sahai is the amiable name, and I'm just in the mood of celebration. I'm celebrating my 16th year on TMI, 16 years on This Morning on ITV. It started February 24th, 2010, and yesterday was exactly the 16 years on TMI. So I am celebrating, and congratulations to me, and thank you to the management of Independent Television for creating the platform. I am so grateful. Now, on the 7th episode of the 7-week series we have been on, which is Driving Workplace Productivity with Emotional Intelligence, we are going to be zeroing on the emotional intelligence component of motivation. That is what we are going to be focusing on today. You know, emotional intelligence, as I've defined on this platform within the workplace context, as a boss, as a leader, is your ability, you know, to ensure workplace emotional stability with the knowledge of how to manage your emotion, and also the knowledge of how to manage the emotion of your people towards ensuring success, productivity in a work environment. And there are 5 components or pillars of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. And today, the focus is on motivation. So, within the arena of emotional intelligence, or in the school of emotional intelligence, what is motivation? You know, motivation in the school of emotional intelligence is different from the excitement you get from a seminar that quickly fades away. There are 2 different, you know, school of thought, or there are 2 different meaning. You know, in the arena of emotional intelligence, in the school of emotional intelligence, motivation is the inner drive to achieve. Motivation is the inner drive to improve. Motivation is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and for the sake of excellence. Motivation is the inner drive to achieve. Motivation is the inner drive to improve. Motivation is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of excellence, which means that you don't necessarily need to wait for extrinsic reward, external reward, you know, before you do what you are supposed to do, before you bring your A game to the table. So in the arena of emotional intelligence, motivation is the intrinsic drive to go beyond expectation. This is very, very important. And you know, since we started this series, we have been looking at it from a case scenario perspective, using, you know, practical workplace situational case scenarios to bring this knowledge to light, so that you can see the practicality of, you know, emotional intelligence. And today, I'm equally going to do so with the emotional intelligence component of, you know, motivation. Remember, emotional intelligence is that inner drive. You know, emotional intelligence component of motivation is that inner drive to achieve, is that inner drive to improve, is that inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and for the sake of excellence. Very important. Now, we have an interesting case scenario today on the emotional intelligence component of motivation. And this case scenario is on a state traffic management agency. So it's titled Exhibiting Emotional Intelligence of Motivation in a State Traffic Management Agency. So it goes thus. During the festive season, traffic in a busy Nigerian state became unbearable. Road construction, street trading, fuel queues, impatient commercial drivers, and aggressive motorists created daily gridlock at major junctions. Social media buzzed with complaints, radio stations criticized the agency, and public frustration was at a boiling point. Inside the traffic management agency, morale was dropping. Field officers worked long hours under the sun. Some were insulted daily. A few began reporting late. Others became harsh with motorists. Tension filled the air. Now, let's see leadership in action in this case scenario. At the center of the agency was a director of operations. Rather than reacting defensively, he demonstrated emotional intelligence component of motivation, which is the inner drive to pursue goals with resilience, optimism, and discipline focus despite pressure. He called an emergency meeting. Instead of blaming officers, He acknowledged their challenges. He reminded them of the agency's core mandates, which are saving lives, reducing accidents, and restoring order. He shared data showing that consistent officer presence slightly reduced crashes. He reframed the narrative from public insult to public expectation. In other words, he was able to reframe the mind of his officers that what appear as public backlash on the job they were doing is actually public expectation. Now, he introduced practical measures which includes rotating high pressure posts, providing short rest breaks, weekly recognition for outstanding conduct, public commendation for teams handling difficult intercessions. Now, an astounding one from him. He personally visited major junctions during peak hours, standing alongside officers to encourage them. This is leadership. This is motivation from the operations director of operations in the state traffic management agency. He personally visited major junctions during peak hours, standing alongside officers to encourage them. Very important. Then a turnaround happened. Gradually, officers who were discouraged regained commitment. They became more professional and traffic flow improved slightly. Public perception began to shift, with radio callers acknowledging better officer conduct. The roads remained busy and fuel scarcity persisted, but internal motivation changed performance, and performance changed results. So let's see 3 key lessons from this case scenario of this particular Nigerian state management traffic, government traffic management agency. 3 key lessons on emotional intelligence component of motivation from the case scenario. Number 1, as a leader, learn to anchor motivation internally, not externally. Connect work to purpose. And the director of operations in this particular state government traffic management agency, he was able to connect work to purpose. In this case scenario, it involves saving lives and serving the public. And then secondly, the second lesson on this emotional intelligence component of motivation from this case scenario is that resilience is essential. Amid constant pressure, emotionally intelligent leaders stay focused and show the team that challenges are temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's just for us to be able to do the right thing, diagnose the problem properly, then do the right thing. Then the third lesson, motivation spreads from the top. This is just so important. Leaders' energy and disciplined commitment inspire others, while reactive leadership quickly demoralizes. So in conclusion, in our institutions, technical skills control systems, but emotionally intelligent motivation sustains effort. In a country where challenges are visible every day, sustained effort is often the difference between chaos and gradual progress. And this is where the emotional intelligence component of motivation is very key. It cannot be overemphasized. Now remember what the emotional intelligence component of motivation is. It is the inner drive to achieve. It is the motivation to improve. It is the inner drive to pursue excellence for the sake of achievement and excellence. And that is exactly what the director of operation in this particular Nigerian state government traffic management agency was able to do. And this is what we should all imbibe as leaders. This is very, very important. I strongly believe that profound value have been practically added to your day this morning. I know you want to connect with me as you have been doing, and so through my email, inuagata@gmail.com, send your inquiries, send your questions, and then I'm able to provide answers to you that can help you to become better emotionally intelligent. Then you become a better leader, create a better workplace, build a better environment for us all to live in, and then we are living in a better world. I'll be seeing you next week Wednesday, and when I return, I will still be the amiable Inuagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.
TV, certainly the best.
Some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Ugemobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Ọba Tope.
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
Many thanks for staying with us. We're still on CMI this beautiful morning on ITV. All right, this morning we would be reviewing the papers, and our guests this morning that would be helping us reviewing the papers is Dr. Victor. All right, Dr. Victor, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Dr. Victor is a UN Humanitarian Ambassador, so he would be helping us analyze the papers this morning. We will be starting with the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune, the big headlines there says, Egbetukun resigns, Tunji Disu is acting IGP, 8 DIGs may go. You get that on page 3 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another headline that says, CBN interest rate cut signals credit pension group. The government files fresh charges against Ozekome. You get that on page on the Nigerian newspaper. Another headline there says suspected thugs attack Edo ADC Secretariat. Oyegun's arrest after defection. That on page on the page. And also headline as Yes Assembly a dairy for Fasti government on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Another one says El Rufai asks courts to quench DSS charges against him. You get that on page 2 on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Dr. Victor, let's talk about the big headlines there. I know that is our main focus on CMI from Lagos this morning, but let's just talk briefly about it. That says Egbetukun resigns, Tunji Disu is acting as the Inspector General of Police, and also 8 DIGs may go. What is your take?
It's the office officer for one, but and because it was more like a job because of scandals that have been brewing for a while now. But we'll talk about that later. But the sad part for me is the fact that, you know, and we must be sensitive to things like this. A man from the Southwest leaves, another person from the Southwest takes over. He's not the most senior person, and because that one is taking over, 8 other people have to be sacrificed for his own to be possible. Why do we have to do that in this country? It's a bad place as far as I'm concerned. And this has not, it doesn't take away from the eligibility or qualification of Tunji Disu. But what it does do now is create that bit of insecurity in the forces where people don't, there's no job security anymore. You don't feel you can aspire normally to the top because of the political shenanigans of our leaders.
All right, we'll talk more on that later.
Yes, yes.
Okay, moving on, we're still on the newspaper of this morning. Let's take a look at the Daily Trust, the big headlines on the Daily Trust newspaper says, U.S. push to scrap tax outrage. You get that on the Daily Trust newspaper. You get that on page 4 of the newspaper. Another headline there says, Obi Oyegun, other ADC chieftains attack in Edo State. You also get that on the Daily Trust this morning. Another headline there says, Expert S-Ray interest rate cut to 26.65%. You get that on the papers. Another headline there says, Bayelsa governor picks chief of staff as deputy. Also get that on the paper. Dr. Victor, let's talk about what Edo State of a chat in yes, but a lot of on social media. Let's get your take on that.
I think it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's totally unnecessary. And the reason I say so is, I mean, when you think about it, politics is just what it is. It's not even time for campaign yet and all that. The thugs, whoever they are, the only way the government can, you know, exonerate itself by this is not healthy at all. It's sad. People should be able to practice and let the public decide. At the polling booth, whoever it is,
the presidential candidates.
Okay, there are two things to be said here. The fact that the government involved, which is normal, but they cannot deny the fact such a thing. But we should hope that we're not drunk for that. It's just about politics. It's about what safety, about safety in Edo State. It's about the signal it sends to investors. When foreign have come back and invest, and when you create an atmosphere of insecurity, nobody wants to come and put money in a place like that.
All right, and I would also say this boils down to insecurity. The security personnel there at that moment, where were they? I mean, for the whole thing to escalate to that extent.
There was no escalation. I would say there was a de-escalation, and I'll explain. The reason it didn't go beyond the way it went was because of the DSS that were, of course, attached to the
yeah.
So, and the person of particular, in this case, I mean, a particular concern, political person, so his safety is very important. They were the ones that, you know, de-escalated the matter. Otherwise, it could have been worse.
Moving on, we're still on the papers review this morning. Let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. The 26.5% DSS can try me over casual remarks on TV. El-Rufai. Another headline there says, U.S. Congress recommends measures to end Christian persecution in Nigeria. You get that on page 5, also on the Vanguard newspaper. Dr. Victor Ohai, let's talk about the El-Rufai all issue that has been happening with a cult. You know, it's a deep trial over TV. El-Rufai tells court, and also he seeks 2 billion naira damages. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, to an extent, I'll say he's right. The reason is that, you know, for criminal offenses, the burden of proof is on the prosecution. Yes, he said it, but it's like I said, you know, even if you say a man has stolen, you see the goods with him, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the man actually stole. So he has a point there, and it can be argued that yes, he made a casual remark, but is it necessarily true? So the first thing you have to prove is the fact that yes, although he said it, but did he actually carry it out? What are the proofs that he carried it out? And you know, it never occurred to me all this while, but now that he has said it, I think he does have a point there. And, you know, he will have his day in court. But if indeed he did what he did, you know how terrible it is, but he'll have his day in court.
All right, move to the look at newspaper headline there says, President to team, take our scorecard to grassroots. You get that on the Nation newspaper. Another headline says, Renew Hope ambassadors get a marching order to explain government's achievement. You also get that on the Nation newspaper this morning. MM1A Lagos Fire Airlines relocates a temporary terminal. You get that on page 4 on the Nation newspaper. Another headline there says, federal government, U.S. House panels reports catalyst for more cooperation. You get that on page 3 on the Nation newspaper. Bank raise 4.5 trillion naira in recapitalization drive. You also get that on the Nation newspaper. Dr. Victor, let's just talk briefly, because we're out of time. Let's talk briefly about the president to team take out scorecards, the big headlines that says president to team take out scores to grassroots. Let's talk about that, where a sub-writer said Renew Hope ambassador get marching order to explain government's achievements.
Okay. I think this is the first, this is a submittance that the government is aware that probably they're not that popular. Sense that, get me right, dreams are see what they're doing. You get what I'm saying? So they require the ambassadors. But I guess that at the end of the day, the best ambassador is a man's pocket and his belly. So what I think the government should focus on is creating those programs that the common man can feel without the need for ambassadors and storytellers. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you say, it's not what people say, it's how I feel it in my pocket and in my stomach that tells me exactly whether the government is reaching me or not. All right, Dr. Victor, before we round up, let's quickly take a look at the Guardian newspaper, the big headline there that says, the U.S. escalates pressure on Nigeria as African firms up hub in Ghana. You get that on page 6 on the Guardian newspaper. Another headline there says, EDC Accord others known disintegration, Fate March 24. You get that also on page 30 on the Guardian newspaper. Another headline there says, federal government dragged to ECOWAS court over tax law alteration. You get that also on page 5 on the Guardian newspaper. CBN rules out extending recapitalization deadline, lowers interest rate by 0.5%. You get that on page 15 on the Guardian newspaper. INEC dismisses claims of resort manipulation in FCT polls. You get that on page 3. All right, I urge you guys to go get, you all out there to go grab a copy and go through it so you have more information on what is happening. I want to say a very big thank you for joining us on the Papers Review this morning. Thank you so much, Dr. Victor Oha. Thank you for having me.
All right, we're still on TMI this morning on ITV. We'll be handing over to our Benin Network studio where Evans is standing by for the continuation on TMI. Do stay with us.
So stand up for the champions, stand up.
ITV, certainly the best.
All right, thank you. The program's still on your television this morning on ITV, and you're welcome to Benin. Now, we are going to be talking about youth and also the 2027 election, the mobilization of the youth as it stands, and how they can actually fit into the election. Because the election is no doubt one of the civic responsibilities that Nigerians must take part in. Now, very recently, we've seen a new phenomenon, creeping into Nigerian politics, most especially as it relates to next year's election. Talking about two movements now. Now we have the City Boys movement, then we have the Village Boys movement. I don't know how we got here, but the thing is really taking, a very remarkable impression, I must say, on the election, because we understand that some of the City Boys movements are the big boys in town. Why the Village Boys movement are considered to be the ordinary boy, the ordinary youth, that on the day of the election, he will simply go to the units, he will vote, and even if he's given money, he will take the money, but he will vote his conscience. So those have been some of the narratives that have been following these two phenomenon, the City Boys movement and the Village Boys movement. Well, against that backdrop this morning, we're going to be looking at Nigerian youths in election and election as a civic responsibility. Most especially, we look at how they can actually be mobilized for this election. And to do this with us this morning, we are so privileged to have the chairman of the Edo State Youth Council of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, talking about Comrade Moses Aguinede. Sir, you're welcome to the program this morning on ITV.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, and also we have my co-anchor, my partner Wilson Omasho, also here with me on the program. Now, Comrade, let's look at these two, the phenomenon of the City Boy movement, the City Boy movement and the Village Boys movement creeping into this election. I mean, for the first time, we're having it for the first time. How did we get here?
For me, like I said, the City Boy movement happens to be more of like an arm of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign platform, headed by young people, mostly young people. Like in Edo State, we have Honorable Paddy Yamo, who is somebody of competence and character. And, so that's how it is across the 36 states of this country.
Mm-hmm. All right. I want to ask you one question before I throw the next question. Are you a city boy or a village boy?
No, a village boy.
Well,
let's start from there.
I'm not a member of any of the movements.
Because after all, you're the #1 youth in Edo State.
Yes.
They will want to know, are you a city boy or a village boy?
And I don't belong to any of the...
No, you
so
must.
If you don't belong to any of these, how would you know their aims and objectives?
Well, the village boy movement, I think it was recently we saw it was mostly online, where people said, young people are mostly in the media space, especially the social media, where they said, they are the APC or the Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign are setting up City Boy. Okay, we want to do our own village boy movement. For me, I don't see that as being realistic. We, like the City Boy movement, they have physical infrastructures. They go for empowerment programs. The one that was held in Edo, hundreds of youth were being empowered financially. The help in health-related issues, to see how they can help people. What about the village boy movement? We've not seen anything from there. I'm not being sympathetic to any of them, but I'm just telling you, these are the obvious.
But I hope you're not trying to campaign for the City Boy movement.
That's why I asked the first question. Which one do you belong to?
No, I don't belong to anyone. I'm not a registered member of any.
Okay, but let's look at it this way now, because like what I said a while ago, that it is actually the first time that we're seeing this phenomenon. I mean, before this time, it used to be just youths. In an election, you mobilize them, and of course they come out on the day of election to vote. But now we are seeing two movements. The last time we heard about movements in an election was the 2023 presidential election, where we saw Obi movement. I'm not campaigning for Peter Obi though, but we saw Obi movement. But now the City Boys movement and the Village Boys movement. Now these two movements now, it seems that we are beginning to look at them within the ambience of political parties. I don't know if I'm correct.
Well, I don't know. If I want to ask also, so the Village Boy movement, which party do they belong to?
The City Boys movement. Okay, you said is in support of Bola Ahmed.
Yes, because the patron of the City Boy movement is Sheyi Tinubu, who happens to be the son of the president, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So the Village Boy movement, which party are they supporting with what you have said?
We are the one asking the questions right now.
Well, I don't know.
We are asking the questions. All right, now.
It is ordinary. It is ordinary if the City Boy movement supports Bola Ahmed Tinubu, then the Village Boy movement will maybe run contrary. I mean, supports some other party.
But as of today, we still have people who say they are obedient. As of today, who will tell you we are not a member of City Boy, we are not a member of Village, but we are obedient. And we have been told that obedience are not members of any political party. They are people who are sympathetic to the cause of Peter Obi.
All right. Now, when we asked you the first question, you mentioned the name in Edo State as part of the City Boy, giving out
the coordinator, yes.
Coordinator. And you say you've not seen what the Village Boys are doing.
Yes.
Does it not mean that the City Boys are buying up the conscience of Nigerian youth with money?
No, when you
on
say,
what they are doing?
No, I disagree.
To garner more vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
They didn't tell you we are empowering you to go and vote Tinubu. It's because of what they do. They believe it.
In whose name?
They are doing it. Doesn't matter.
No, in
people
whose,
are being empowered.
Hold on. In whose name? That's a question. Because you said, you mentioned the name, Paddy, am I right? That is, him and his people are giving off arms to help people. And I asked the question, in whose name are they not buying off the conscience of the youths to vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
But it is not bad. If I'm supporting you, you are running for election, I'm supporting you, and I'm coming to say, because I'm supporting XYZ, I'm doing an empowerment program in support of you, is it bad? It's not bad.
So you agree that the buying of conscience of the youth?
I didn't say that, but I said they're empowering young people, they're empowering people, they're empowering women.
Anyway, let's come off that now. The reason why we have to bring that in is the way that this seems to be taking a kind of a toll on the youths in Nigeria, even in Edo State, like what you rightly said, we also have it in Edo State. Now, the 2027 election is so close. I mean, around this time next year, we would have had the presidential election, though we are yet to see the final timetable from INEC. But you tell us, I mean, you are in the business of running the affairs of the youths in Edo State. And of course, I understand that one of your responsibilities is to, mobilize youths for civic responsibilities. Now, how are you mobilizing Edo youths for next year's election?
Well, INEC announced the continuous voter registration. It started from January, it's going to span till April. We are currently sensitizing young people to who haven't registered to be with their voters card, to go and get their voters card. So we're doing that. The registration is ongoing across the 18 local government. Mobilizations are ongoing to sensitize them, to let them know that, hey, if you don't have a voters card, go and get a voters card ahead of the elections. You have to vote. And those who are also, credible and also ready to vie for political office, we encourage them also to throw in themselves to contest and vie for political office.
All right. Now, you as the youth president in Edo chapter, right, you have youths under you. And of course, it's your duty to create that particular balance. So tell me now, if some part of your youths are for the City Boys, and of course some are for the Village Boy, you as a leader, how are you going to balance the trend so they don't be comatose, will I say, how will I put it now, fracas, or how will I put it now, commotion, so to speak, in the body of the youths in Edo State?
Well, everybody has the right to support candidates of their choice, right? What as chairman of Youth Council in Edo, all the youths in Edo States are under my purview and under my jurisdiction. So we have different individuals of diverse political parties, right? The only thing we preach peace, we preach do not allow your party affiliations to get involved with your day-to-day dealings with your peers, right? So that's what we do. We don't advocate for any political party because, like I said, every young person in Edo has the right to belong to any political party and to support the candidate of their choice.
Now, some of the period that you are dancing the tune of the APC in the state as a youth chairman in Edo State.
Well,
vis-a-vis being a City Boy.
When you say dancing towards, I don't agree. I'm support of the governor of Edo State. Doesn't mean I'm dancing towards the APC. The governor is the governor for everybody, not the governor for APC or governor for a set of individuals.
Now, the reason why we're asking this question, I remember you came here during the past governor in Edo State, talking about Governor Godwin Obaseki, the PDP governor, and you were here a couple of times. And of course, you are here again, another government, another political party. Is it true that you support any government in power?
The Constitution of the National Youth Council says you support the government of the day for the development of young people.
That makes you political.
No.
And that makes you a city boy.
Yeah.
That makes you a city boy.
But the Youth Council is not political.
The
Youth Council is not political. And it states there that you support the government of the day for the development of young people. If I don't support the governor, how will I tell the governor that young people
The reason why I'm asking, you know, we in the media, we hear so many things. And when we have the opportunity to ask the questions, we don't spare. Now, I remember the former governor, he had some innovations at your secretariat. He did so many things for you guys at your secretariat and all that. And of course, you supported him like you even said now. And I also understand that this present governor has also promised some things to do for you guys at your secretariat and all that, and you are supporting him. That makes you political. Now, the question I'm asking to that is that, is National Youth Council, is it a political body?
No, National Youth Council is not a political. I told you earlier, we are apolitical. What we do across bodies, specified in the 2018 Constitution as amended, is support the government of the day.
That makes you political. I mean, I'm saying it again.
Anyway, all these dancing around and all that, maybe I understand your plight. We understand your plight. We understand your position. It's okay. But 2027 is around the corner, whether I want to believe it or not. How are the youth being mobilized right now to partake in that election?
I said earlier, they are being sensitized to get their voters card. Those who haven't registered to go and get their voters card, and those who are, wanting to vie for political office are being encouraged to do so.
Now, how many youths in your purview are vying for office? It's talking about 2027.
In my purview.
And how many people have you been encouraging to, go belong to a political party, go vie for particular office in your own jurisdiction? I say youth in Edo State.
The jurisdiction, the whole youth in Edo State are under my jurisdiction. So any youth who vies for political office is under my jurisdiction.
Anyway, away from that now, Comrade Gwinede. Now, most times I pity you, not you as a person, but I pity your organization, that's the National Youth Council, because most times, I mean, politics is around the corner, and we've been hearing of violence. I mean, just imagine the one that happened yesterday. And the set of people that are easily suspected are the youths. I think it's high time that you guys need to come out. Let Nigerians know the policy formation of your organization. Because I understand that your organization, for you as a Nigerian youth, you run between 18 and 35 years old. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're true.
Now, we've seen that a lot of persons, that have been fingered for some of these violent, attacks here and there during political, period, they are in their 50s and they still claim to be youths. Now, is this not a bad name for you? How are you going about it?
Well, it's unfortunate when you see any able-bodied young man, and he will tell you that he's a youth. Like I said, in Nigeria, the youth age is between 18 and 35, and even in some countries, it's even going below now. If you are above 29, you are no longer a youth. Right? But like you said, you see people who are above 35, who are even 50, 55, 60, and because they look, agile, and they say youth. So I disagree when they say young people are the ones into political talk. That's not true. When you look at the trend, you see most of the political talks are not even between 18 and 35. Many of them are above. So it's high time we peg and we come out to let the whole world know that young people are being victimized for what we are not, especially Edo youth. When you say cultism, you also finger youth. When you say cultism, you finger youth. You say drug abuse, you finger youth. So they are not being fair to us. So the Ministry of Youth, Federal Ministry of, I think it's not just Edo, it belongs to the 36 states. The Federal Ministry of Youth should come out alongside the youth councils across the nation to let the world and the country know that if you're above 35, you're no longer a youth.
Okay. All right, so we'll take a short pause now. Don't forget the program is still this morning on ITV, and our focal point this morning is looking at the 2027 election, the mobilization of the youths in Edo State, and also we talked about the new movements, the new phenomenon that has crept into politics, the city boy movement, and of course the village boys movement. We have Moses Agwinede, the chairman of the Edo State Youth Council, right here with us. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
All right, thank you one more time. The program's still on your television, and we are looking at the 2027 presidential election, or the general elections for 2027, the mobilization of the youths, and we are talking about Edo youths in this case. Moses Agwinede, the chairman of the National Youth Council, is our guest this morning. And Wisin, you wanted to
All right, yes, Moses, now you said you're neither a city boy nor a village boy, right? Now, if city boys came out to say they want to like mobilize, you join them to mobilize too, right? Yes or no?
If they ask me to give them a specific number of views, why not?
Okay, what if not the village boys say the same, they want to mobilize? Would you join them?
The question is, what do you need the youth for? Is it for Togri or for empowerment? If it's empowerment, then you are me.
It's a very simple question, it's a political question. Will you join
for election?
For election, mobilize them for election.
For election.
Mobilize them for election. No, I
them?
won't do that.
But you join the city boy?
No, I won't do that.
So that means you're neutral?
Yes,
because you know, when a party, Commissioner for Education had a kind of a program, you know, rightly spoken that you were there, you were present.
No, I wasn't there.
But your representative was there?
No, I wasn't there.
You were not there. So now, if you're not there, tell me, how are you not representing the youths in Edo State?
I wasn't invited, and I was not there. But they had young people there, and I told you I saw it, what they were doing, the mobilization, they did the empowerment, and it was good.
Now you talk about the age discrepancy.
Yes.
There's this some in the state that are claiming to be youths, which according to age divide, they are not supposed to be in that bracket. What are you doing about it to give the youth more power come 2027?
Like I said, there's little to what I can do. The youth policy states that the youth age is between 18 to 35. Right? And it's currently under review. But as of today, it's 18 to 35. So what we know and who we recognize as young people, as youth, not just in Edo, but in Nigeria, is 18 to 35. So if you are 36, you're no longer a youth.
Now, I think it's high time you should begin to maybe relate with some of these political parties, because we understand that some of these political parties the chairman or the chairman of the youth arms of their parties, are above 35 years. I don't want to mention names.
Above 50.
I don't want to mention names. I know 1 or 2, 3. They are the chairman of the youth arms of these political parties. They are in their 50s, and we know how they got that responsibility. And these are the people bringing bad name to youth in Edo State, and if not Nigeria. So I think it's high time you should begin to let the political parties know that, hey, once you are above 35, you cannot make such a person a youth chairman in your party, so that when the troubles begin to come, we know where it comes from.
Well, that's the sole responsibility of the Federal Ministry of Youth to do that, because they are the supervisory body of all youth organizations. Like in the state, we are under the State Ministry of Youth, working hand in hand with the State Ministry of Youth, at the federal level with the Federal Ministry of Youth. So that is the responsibility of the Federal Ministry of Youth to do that, to write to all political parties across, but to let them know that this youth position should be kept for people within this age. So we don't know the constitution of those parties and what they peg their youth age at. But at least everything should be, I think for me, everything should be unified across board for us to start getting it right in this country.
All right. Are you a card-carrying member of any political party vis-a-vis the APC?
That's for my personal consumption.
No. They need to know, because someone saying that the party you belong to determines where your effort will be channeled towards. Ask again the question. Are you a card-carrying member of any political party?
I'm a card-carrying member of a political party, yes, but I can't
the ruling party?
I can't say that.
Why are you hiding it from the public?
No, I can't say that.
Because, sir, let me tell you what we're getting right now. Saying that you are a card-carrying member of the ruling party, hence you are shadowing or trying to stop the momentum of other political parties.
No, even if I'm a card-carrying
in the
member
youth council,
it's not bad.
That's all you do right now, is to support the ruling party.
I told you that.
Do you think that will impede your judgment as the #1 youth in Edo State when we talk about the policy of neutrality?
My position is to be apolitical. As chairman of youth council, I can't be a member of political party. But as Moses Agunede, Joseph, I have the right to belong to
a card-carrying member of a political party. Don't compromise your last statement.
Listen, he has said it now.
Hold on, Evan. No, he said he is apolitical, but he cannot be apolitical by being a member of a political party.
Like I said, as chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State chapter, I am apolitical. But as Moses Agunede Joseph, I belong to a political party.
So how can you distinguish the two?
I think we should ask the question: at what point do you differentiate your position and your personality?
Now, when it comes to party activities, I can't go there in the name of the National Youth Council to do anything in my political party.
But that is who you are.
Like I said, as Moses Agunede, I have the right to belong to a political party if I so
wish.
Yes, and I'm a member of a political party.
Are you coming for the political party?
I'm a member of.
Are you campaigning for them?
Party.
In the office you occupy?
Like I said, I can't use the platform of the National Youth Council to campaign for any party.
But it is who you are.
I think we need to understand something here. Now, the chairman of the Youth Council is just like the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He's the president of all the political parties. Bola Ahmed, from what he's saying, I think it makes sense. I'm not trying to judge. Here. But from what you're saying, that as chairman of the council, you at that level of being the chairman, you are not a card-carrying member. But as Moses Agunede, you have the right if you so wish.
Evans, are you shielding him?
I'm not.
Because you understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand.
People want to know. Because I feel like saying that he is a member of the APC. This is down to the tune of the APC. We need to clear the air. That's why you are on national TV.
APC, right? As Moses Agunede, it's not bad.
They're not
bad. It is.
So, right? in other words, you can campaign for them.
As Moses Agunede, yes, I can.
But I know you as a chairman of the Youth Council.
I can't use the platform. I said it earlier. I said I can't use the platform of the National Youth Council to campaign for any political party. But as Moses Agunede, I have the right to campaign for any political party.
I think by the Constitution, setting up the Youth Council, it enables you to work for the government of the day. That's what you said. You said it a while ago.
Yes.
Anyway, let's look at some other issues now, because the issue of mobilizing the youths, it's so sacrosanct, in any election. education, if not even in any civic responsibility. You know, the fabrics of the society rest on the shoulders of the youth. There's no doubt about that.
Sure.
Now, on the day of elections, most voters that come out to vote are the youths. Even if we are saying that above 25 years, but let us say for the purpose of this discussion that those 50 years old people we see that carry guns, you know, cause mayhem during elections, they are youths and all that. Now, what are you going to be telling the average Edo youth today on this program? It's going to be on record.
Well, it's a Sean Courtesan, one. First of all, let me commend the governor of Edo State. I know you are going to say something.
Here we go again.
The governor of Edo State, Senator Mondo Pevolo, for winning the fight against courtesan. You agree with me that in the last 10 years, we've not had a very peaceful Christmas festive period. This last Christmas was quiet. So you agree.
It was quiet.
You can see why we are supporting the governor. So he has done tremendously well in that area, and also infrastructure and what have you. The young people of Edo State are very volatile. You agree with me that if there's any wave, it starts from Edo. The obedient movement started from Edo. The NSAS protest started from Edo. And Edo youth are very, 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 very conscious and agile. So that's why we tend to treat them with caution.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
So it's for us to shun courtesan, shun every form of violence whatsoever. Do not allow yourself to be used as political talks and tools to destabilize any electoral process or any gathering.
So what about the aspect of selling their conscience because of peanut like 10,000, 5,000 during the election? What are you going to say to them? You come out in election, they go and vote your choice, vote your conscience. Do not sell your vote. But they should take the money, right?
It's their choice.
Moses. Moses, anyway, Evans.
All right, the program is still on your television this morning on ITV. Now, apart from the election now, we have other civic responsibilities, you know, that we must also talk about. Even if the election is up there, I mean, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be attending to them. We have environmental sanitation exercise. It's a civic responsibility. We have public holiday. It's also a civic responsibility. Then, of course, we have other things that some persons may not know that is a civic responsibility. As far as small as, not even as small, I mean, respecting national symbols is a civic responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't write on the Naira note is a civic responsibility. You hear the national anthem, you are expected to stand still, is a civic responsibility. The national flag, the national color, how do you respond to them when you see them? Is a civic responsibility. So do you also mentor Edo youths in this direction? Because most times when we say civic responsibility, it's just only by election and all that they know. Do you?
Well, it is, I think most people know what you have said, that observing public holidays is civil responsibility. They know. They know that when you hear the national anthem, you respect and, you know, stay calm, you know, it's a civil responsibility. They know that. Right? So I think what we'll do, now that you have said so, we've not really thought of that. We'll start we'll start to sensitize young people towards that, because they know, but I think they don't have that consciousness that they just, when they say civil responsibility, the only thing they think of is election.
Now, the reason why I'm saying that, I remember in our time when we were growing up, we had they called them organizations, voluntary organizations. We had some we have the Man of War, we had the Boy Scout, the Boys Brigade, and all that. All those were voluntary organizations that mentored us towards civic responsibilities and all that. But the crave for that now seems to have gone into oblivion. I mean, we hardly see them, we hardly hear them. You know, I think you also need to think along that line. Moses Agwene did that. It's high time we should begin to revisit some of these tenets that we grew up, that leaders of today grew up with, so that the youth of today should begin to know that, okay, we should begin to have all these things in our schools and even our society.
Okay, I thank you. You see, the last administration, led by Mr. Gordon Obaseki, put a ban on voluntary organizations going back to public and private schools.
Really?
Yes, at some point. But as of today, as I'm talking to you, a few months ago, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Honorable Dr. Padi Yamu, having approached him and gave him reasons why those youth, voluntary organizations should go back to schools to help shaping the young minds. He gave his express approval. As I'm talking to you now, voluntary youth organizations are returning back to primary and
well, I'm
secondary
going to take that as an allegation that Obasanjo's administration puts a ban.
At some point, yes.
We'll take that as an allegation.
No, it's not. Because the voluntary youth organizations are under the National Youth Council, so I should be the first. I should be in the best position to tell you that.
Yeah, well, as far as this program is concerned, yes. I'll take it as an allegation because we cannot, factualize that now. So we will just let you say that so that you don't pass at the wrong information. Yeah, quickly.
Okay, as a number one man, talk about number one youth in Edo State. What advice do you have for the youths in Edo State pertaining all that Evans just mentioned?
Shun courtesim. Shun drug abuse. Do not allow yourself to be used as thugs.
Thank you so much, Moses.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Lulokbe, our co-presenter in Abuja, I think he has a question because this program is being viewed nationwide and internationally. Yeah. Tolu, so what's your question for the chairman of the Youth Council in Edo State, Moses Agwinede?
Yeah, I think for me, you need to, being the chairman of the Youth Council, what does he think about the attack on Peter Obi right here in Edo State? Does it mean politicians are no longer safe? For him, being the chairman, the owners also ready to ensure to also support the government ensuring that Edo State is safe for every politician. What is his own take on that?
By some irate youths. What's your view on that? What advice or what's your own stake in that particular attack of yesterday?
Well, I condemn the attack on Mr. Peter Obi, but like I said, young people are being fingered in all these areas. I wish all they are youths.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Are you not passing the buck or what?
Yes, I wish all they are youths.
Anyway, Evans, I think Tolu is ready right now.
All right, so we want to say thank you. We'll leave the discussion here so that we can hand over to Lokbe in Abuja and the program goes on. So, Mr. Moses Agwinede, we hope that when we call you again before the election, you oblige us so that we'll talk more as we prepare the youths for the election. Okay. All right, so we'll take a short pause now. Still on the program. Please stay tuned.
Thank you. Come back right there. That last question setting the tone for our discussion today from the Abuja Network Studio. Put into consideration that so many things will be happening in 2027, the presidential election, the Senate, and so many other things right there. And not forgetting, some few days back, we had the FCT Area Council. But with what happened yesterday in Edo State, it seems their paradigm shift in how the 2027 election will pan out. And joining me via phone this morning is Comrade Gerald Kashi, who also be giving his own take on what happened in Edo State. What does it mean for the election? Going forward to 2027, is that going to be a reflection of what 2027 presidential, Senate, and government election will pan out? A wonderful morning to you, Gerald Comrade Kachi.
Yeah, very good morning to you. Good morning to our viewers. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, put into consideration what happened some few days back in FCT, where the ruling party totally dominated the area council election. And just opposing it with what happened yesterday in Edo State. How do you see the implications of this going forward to the 2027 election?
What happened in weekend, the area council is what once forecasted in this Darling station last week. You know that my organization is accredited domestic observer election, and when we are doing election analysis, preparation, that was Thursday, and I said that there are chances that we further see. With regards to this area council election, due to people's confidence in this, and especially with dilly-dally or up and down with Electoral Act, and we was sent the president. My edition actually came to reality on Saturday, where area council election was conducted in FCT, and I will use AMAC, as a case study, Abuja Municipal Area Council, where we have voter turnout very, very low. According to INEC, the registered voters in the AMAC alone is about half of the entire of FCT. That is about 837,000 plus. And at the end of the day, the people who participated in that election was about 65,000 plus. If you just put it into percentage, it's less than 8%. It's about 7.something%. It doesn't tell good. It doesn't tell good at all. It doesn't tell good. Then if you look at other five area council elections, if you just generalize the percentage is about 15%, because there are some areas where you have up to 20% turnout. There's areas where about 27 and less. So if you put it in a general figure, you have about 15% for other area council election. That is those in the rural area. But then if you look at the low turnout in AMAC, it goes to tell a lot of things. It goes to show that it's a silent protest. It's pure protest. So that people are beginning to devise ways to show their unacceptability to reality that we are facing with regards to electoral issues. Take, for example, Electoral Act, as amended, had a benchmark with regards to amount you spend in campaigning. And Electoral Act, also as amended, has certain penalties with regards to electoral offenses, which is vote buying, or after voting you showcase your paper to the public to show people who you voted, and a lot of things that was enacted in that. But are we that, you understand? Mm-hmm. If we are not doing that, it continues to erode that the confidence that are supposed to, make people to come out their civic choice. But then we are not doing that. A situation where few days to the election, begin to hear that some candidates of famous PDP running for the ruling party. What does it talk? What does it tell about the society? A situation that is supposed to come few days time, that is around Wednesday last week, just almost a week today, we are hearing rumors that some that are supposed to be major opposition candidates are stepping down. Other parties that you believe they have grassroots in FCT, like Labour Party, are not in the ballot paper. So it will be fully that one begin to say, okay, because APC we are declared winner, that will translate into general election. I do not, because if you look at the previous elections from 2013, 2016, 2019, and 2022, and so on, you observe that voter apathy continues to decline. And even at that, when area council elections are conducted, it's not always the that we see in general election in FCT. Area council will be conducted, for example, 2022 area council election we are conducted, and we saw PDP winning a majority of the council seats. That is about 62 wards of FCT. But at the end, in the general election, they didn't. You understand? In the election before that, we saw in 2016 where APC won some, PDP won some, Apuga won at Gokolada. And when it comes to general election in 2019, it was a different ball game entirely. You understand? We are PDP sweep. When it comes to as a yardstick for general election, and even all these all-cycle elections, the ruling party has dominated in all the all-cycle election, both in Kano and other states where all-cycle election took place. No, you cannot use that because people interest in those areas are minimal to compare general election. However, it is a known fact that as of today, APC appears to be the only organized political party in Nigeria. They are more organized than other political parties, even though that there are reports that the accusation that part of the things that are making other political parties not to be organized because there's infiltration from the ruling party, trying to cause disharmony among the. So, in the clarity, I think the election have come and gone, concluded election. If why some persons in urban areas.
Let me just hold your thought a little bit, because I also have a guest who is joining us via Zoom, talking about Kenneth Eze, who is the lead director for Speak Out Africa Initiative. I'm still coming back to you. Just hold your thought a little bit. Glad to have you join us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, ITV. Can you hear me?
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Kenneth.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know whether you've been listening to my discussion with Comrade Gerald Kashi concerning the fallout of the last election, the dominance of the ruling party. But putting that into consideration, with the dominance of the ruling party, we are surprised by what went down in a year of the lady of and also what at it. I mean, are we back to the era some political using political to victim opponents of that?
Okay. So let me the performance in the FC just in the last the performance is right home about, and I will just pick just two areas because it's now glaring that because the FCT election that took place was just a litmus test for us to have an idea of how the 2027 is going to be. And by that, I do not mean in terms of who wins, the parties that wins. No. I'm talking in terms of the performance, the framework, the structure of the electoral umpire itself, in terms of readiness, in terms of what Nigerians should expect from them. And I mean INEC. So, but when it comes in terms of party, I also agree with the speaker, the last speaker, that the performance of the political parties may not actually going to be what will happen in the 2027. There are two different ball games. But in terms of preparation, in terms of the electoral umpire, the INEC, what happened in the last weekend election is very unimaginable. Is very unexpected of an institution that is still battling with trust issue. An institution that just have a new person at the helm of affair, who Nigeria is all eyes on, expecting to see something different. You know, one thing that is baffling Nigerians is that how this electoral umpire will be making promise, telling Nigerians, giving them hope. And within just 24 hours, you will see opposite, completely opposite of what they've said they're going to do. So the current INEC chairman, as we speak now, has lost, if he had 80% of Nigerian support before this election, as I speak now, he is now battling with 10 to 15% because of what has happened. And what exactly happened? One, there was a break in social contracts in transmitting election real-time. We are the civil society organization. Of course, you are by now you should have seen official report from the civil society situation room, Yaga, and different CSOs. We do not hear, and even the report that INEC released, for you to see that possibly it could be an intentional act. INEC did not address the reason why was there downtime? Why was there no real-time transmission of results in the FCT election up to a very large margin time before we suddenly start seeing the figures? And we saw what happened. I hope you are aware that there were few pockets of places that were characterized with even violence, to the extent that a major political party, ADC, is now causing to have lost a party agent at the polling unit. And the reason for your question is because Nigeria should blame the National Assembly for this woe, for not making election result transmission in real time mandatory as Nigerians demanded. Because we have now gone back to the area of thuggery, and you saw it. Even what is happening in the Edo, that happened in the Edo yesterday, is because of the fallout, the failure of the so-called the National Assembly, who are the beneficiary of democracy, to sabotage the same democracy that brought them to power by now creating room for human interference in the form of where there is no network, they should now resort to manual means, which is the era they are now taking us back again. So the FCT election fall below performance, below expectation. There were logistics issues, even within FCT. You will be shocked. What does it take INEC within FCT, Abuja? What is the time from FCT to Abaji? What is that from FCT to Kwali? From FCT to Buhari? Why will INEC, after this, all the money, all the promises, still experience logistic issue, even on that election day? Why?
Okay. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Let me just hold your thought. Let me hold your thought a little bit. I'll get to you. I see I have Comrade Gerard Kachi also with me. Comrade Gerard, in the light of what has happened right now and what went down in Edo State, a lot of Nigerians, you talked about the poor turnout of electorate at the last election. Now, with what went down in Edo State, will it not affect the outcome of the 2027 general election?
There's this popular saying that Africa did that a witch cries at night, a child dies in the morning. It was reported sometime last year that the governor of the state, His Excellency Governor Monde Ogbebelu, threatening that personalities like citizens like P2P cannot come to the state without his notification. Therefore, his security cannot be guaranteed. It becomes a witch cries at night, a child dies in the morning. So, statements from a leader is unwarranted, is not befitting as somebody being referred as the excellency, And now this kind of thing has happened. He should take responsibility. You understand? He should take responsibility, because if anything happened to individuals like Oyegu, the former NBA, national. Hello?
Peter Obi, Oyegun, just like you say.
That we are there. He should be able to take responsibility because of what he said in the past. If you go to court, you on a moral ground or spiritual ground, what they use to judge human beings, what they say. You understand? Then before you talk about what they do or the actions they have taken. So I think he should man up to take up the responsibility. It shouldn't be a situation where he begin to, deny or maybe land that is referring ADC as a cultist group or something like that. They are promoting cultism in the state. I think it's unfortunate. It's shameful. What you expect a very proactive and responsible government to do is to fish out those who have perpetrated this kind of evil. To exonerate his government and not begin to deny it didn't happen. Is the one that orchestrated it. It's unfortunate.
Comrade Kachi, from the information before us, there we see pellets of bullets all over the place. And this time, former Governor Oyegun to the State House is just a stone throw. So there was no way the governor could have claimed not to be aware of this. Does it not show that it seems there's, just like you said, a witch cry at night and a child dies in the morning?
We expected that even as they are very close, there should have been intervention if he's sincere, if he's honest about protection and security of the people in that state. If you begin to, indulge in thuggery like we saw in the past, and those people begin to retaliate, it will make that state ungovernable. No matter how powerful he thinks, it will distract him from governance. I don't know whether they are not thinking before they take actions. If maybe those in the ADC begin to do tick for tact, that's very, very ungovernable for him. And he will not have, as of today, of giant strides with regards to infrastructure, roads everywhere, what he's doing, unlike the previous government. So I'm giving it tons of, but then if he begin to distract himself doing a lot of politicking because of his, it will cause a very bad dent to his government. And it's not, I expect solidarity or brotherhood, whether he knows what happened, he doesn't know what happened. It's not time to trade blame or not to do anything. It's a time to extend hand of fellowship for the good people of Edo State. It shouldn't be a time to begin to do politics like this. This will make him to lose the popularity that he's getting because of what he's doing.
Okay, I must say thank you to you, Comrade Kachi. Let me quickly go to Kenneth Eze, who is also standing by on the Zoom this morning, talking about what transpired right there. How you talked about the voters' apathy and the poor turnout of electorate at the last election. With what went down in Edo State right now, will it now be there will be a total apathy towards the 2027 election?
Thank you. Of course, that is the ploy by the political class. One of the things I heard my colleague that just finished speaking at the first instance. So he mentioned that the most strongest political structure today is the APC. I would beg to disagree a while. Because for me, I see them as just at the face level. They are good at optics. This same party tells you they have 30 governors on their side. If you have 30, why time travel? Number two, if you have 30 governors, why is there all this, this thing we are seeing? Now, the new ploy of the political class is voter suppression in order to cause voter apathy. Now, you saw what happened. There was a tragedy in the FCT. The minister suddenly came up and announced that Mr. President has directed him to do this. Now, if Mr. President has directed, is he the Minister of Information? For God's sake, he's not the spokesperson of the government. Now, he can only speak for the ministerial position. But when the president is already involved, because the president is the governor of FCT, the president is supposed to speak through the Minister of Information, the spokesperson of the government. That again is a ploy for voter suppression. The same man gave it, and we saw him. Are you moving around as what? What law? What constitutional law backs you that you are to be moving around while others should not? Now, and you saw what happened. Here were injected into people. The residents didn't come out, and why they do that? Because the easiest way to read, and that's what we are telling Nigerians, is when people fail to come out to vote, it makes it easier. Once less than 10% were the people that voted in the FCT. So less than 10% will not be deciding who governs. Do you know that if we have up to 50% turnout, the result will be different from what we have today? So they have made that clear through the curfew, suppress the wishes of the people, to the people. People lost face in the process. People were playing football on the field. It was easy for them. It now characterized a lot of things that happened, and it happened. So this is exactly the template they intend for 2023. Again, we blame the National Assembly. Because if the National Assembly had saved this country, this democracy, and has input that real-time transfer, there won't be anything to be made. The opposition already we're still calling for the amendment of that section 60 subsection 3. If not, the new ploy we are Latin Nigerian in 2027 is serious voter suppression. See, if I am popular, I don't have a need to suppress voters because I know I will win. So why is there attack? Even in the anybody to fish out those who are behind that. in order to redeem
Mr. Kenneth, sorry to bump into you. Mr. Kenneth, let me ask you this before I definitely let you go. People on social media are already talking about what happened way back in the early 2000s in Lagos, where Future Williams was killed while also trying to run for the office of the governor of Lagos State. People are afraid of having a repeat of that same scenario with what happened with Peter Obi. I don't know whether you know about the case of Future Williams, who was one time contesting during the era of thank you so much, during the time of Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was governor of Lagos State. People are worried that we may have a situation like that with what happened to Peter Obi. Are you also worried about that?
You see, everybody is worried. Why we are worried is because that we may not have a democracy to practice if politicians do not call themselves together. And so the president will need to call these governors that are crying more than the bereaved, these governors that are trying to please the president. So by saying, you have told the president that you are going to provide 2 million votes in Edo State. Thank you. That's all for you. Now, is that 2 million votes? Is it not the people that will vote? Why this caring? Why allowing the state to not give room for a former governor? Do you know how esteemed? How can I be a former governor? And I am denigrating the office of my predecessor. Oyegu was a former governor like him. In the next 10 years, this same governor will be a former governor. So they should know, he that lives in a glass house should not throw stones. So if any politician is thinking that to take the life of somebody is going to, that is to say that even you will not govern, because there will not be democracy. Because the era we are now is no longer that era again. So there should be a level playground, a peaceful, allow people produce results. I heard the governor is doing a lot of infrastructure. We're doing those things. That is the best way to win people. It's not by threat. It's not by making, it's not only in Edo, in Enugu State as we speak. Some of them have come to the point that they will not allow any opposition to put on a billboard. The kind of money, and we saw it also in Anambra during the election. They make sure that it's only the ruling party, because the ruling party is in government, they are the one that will put a fee so that people will not be able to pay. They make the whole environment unconducive. This is unacceptable. Nigerians know what they want. They will talk for themselves. In 2027, except you will kill over all 200 million people, Nigerians will do what seems right to them. That is the beauty of democracy. I think politicians should begin to work. Go down to your people. Begin to work. Show proof. Even if you have not done well, you still have a lot of moves to correct it.
Okay. I must say thank you to you, Kenneth Eze, for joining us. Time not really our friend. We can't be able to take more than that. Thank you so much for linking up with us this morning and to be part of this morning night TV. Thank you so much right there. I'm moving away from, because let me just take last word from Comrade Gerald Kachi, who is also standing by on the line right there. Your last word to ruling party and also to politicians going towards 2027 election, Comrade Gerald.
You see, it's a dangerous trend that we are facing with regards to lower voter turnout. In a situation like Amak, where you have 7 or 8 persons coming out to, 7 or 8% coming out to determine who will govern Amak, it goes to tell you that our democracy is in danger. Let me just make it in a layman's language. In exam, you are going into exam expecting to score 100%, and you are getting 7 over 100. And it becomes a promotional exam. It's way beyond woeful performance. It doesn't tell good about us. So get people to be involved, because these are some of the things that made government to lose legitimacy, credibility, and integrity. When you have a fewer people in a place where you have 100 persons, only 7 will determine how that 100 persons' life will be, run. So it doesn't tell good. The earlier we begin to, do away with things that will make people to lose confidence in the society, do away with things that make people to lose interest in participating, especially in election, which is the most basic thing to do. The earlier we start that, the better for us to begin to end legitimacy among the Committee of Nations.
I must say a big thank you to you, Comrade Gerald Kachi, for joining us this morning and for being part of the discussion. You've done wonderfully well right there, shedding light on this and looking ahead to 2027 and the implication of the attack on Peter Obi and also the former governor of Edo State talking about Mr. Oyegun. Really sad one right there. But let's also hope that will be the last of it. So much from the Abuja Network Studio right there. Let's link up with our Lagos Network Studio, where Ms. Lena is also standing by to continue with the conversation on This Morning on ITV.
ITV, certainly the best. 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 ITV.
On TMI, I am Marcelina Unko. And I guess this morning that would be helping us analyze this topic is Dr. Victor Ohai. He is a UN Humanitarian Ambassador. Hello, Doctor. Good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for always coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, yesterday, so that, Nigeria landscape in a dramatic turn with the resignation of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. The presidency maintains that his decisions were based on personal reasons, but the timing following a meeting with the president and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has sparked a national debate. I mean, few hours after the meeting, he resigned, and we also saw that the president accepted the resignation. Was this truly a voluntary resignation, or was there mounting political and character behind the scene at a time when Nigerians continue to grow with insecurity at this point? Leadership at the top of the police force is critical. It's now accountability deeper power dynamics with the government, and we saw the citizens can take over the position of inspector. It's been overdue that it's also resigned for very long, and this change in the leadership of insecurity we have comes to insecurity in Nigeria, because there's been a problem. So this is where Dr. Victor Ohai would help us talk about this topic today. So Dr. Victor Ohai, if this was purely voluntary, like they said, he resigned, why did it come immediately after the meeting with the president?
Thank you very much for the question. I think, first of all, we have to, I don't know why the president has a lot more of them. That loyalty has been betrayed now. Now, for you, and you might say that of resignation was face saving. It reminds me of the late, I don't know if it's late, Tafa Balogun also, the former IG. he had a scandal. I mean, Egbetokun did not go clean. He had a scandal on his neck. And I think we should start on that and then proceed to other things. Was alleged, and thank God for what I would consider the only true opposition in the country. It's Sahara Reporters, again. Okay. Forgive me, I remember the name shortly now. My memory just failed me shortly. Shore. Yeah, Shore. Shore's supporters had an investigation. The Anambra security fund about 100 million. So money in it. Personal allegedly of son Egbetokun, now former IG. Now that son is not in the police force. He has never worked in the police force. Sahara Reporters found out, they reported it, and then the police do something about it, decided to clamp down on journalists to get a hasty court judgment, you know, banning them from talking about it or doing anything about it. They tried that. Victim giving out the interventions of, I don't know if it's the president or whoever, but this matter refused to go away because of Shore and those who were on the case, because it was a serious matter. 100 million naira that is meant for Anambra security cannot just disappear like that. That money is not, it's not 5 naira or 10 naira. And so because he refused to go, the scandal lingered. You didn't see much in the news because they tried their best to bury it. However, I think it stank so much that it got to the president's news, and they had no choice. You can't keep a man like that, you know, especially a man who you've been managing, who was supposed to have left a long time ago. And so what you saw yesterday was just a picture of his, like, after you, this I cannot help you anymore. If you know what's good for you, just drop the towel. You have overstayed. Just leave. And that's what happened.
I mean, because we saw that few days after the meeting with the president, he resigned.
Yes. So, and he had to leave. So now there's an appointment. Now this appointment is another controversial thing as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
You know, the president has been accused of nepotism. He has been accused of working with so-called city boys, his Lagos boys and all that. And a Yoruba man has left, and you are bringing another Yoruba man. Are there not other people from other tribes? And they are going to sacrifice 8 DIGs in order to get to Tunji Disu. I don't understand why the president is not being sensitive. Frank Mba, an Igbo man, is there. We have people from other parts. There's a team man there. There's people from different parts of the country. And then you jumped everybody, and you're going to get Tunji Disu, a Lagos boy. In his own right, he's qualified. There's nothing wrong with it. But you see, the way the military and the forces are arranged, hierarchical, turn by turn.
So you think there are other people he would have brought on?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he could have done that. I mean, just for the of it just looks right. Let me put it that way. You cannot say he couldn't have gotten. He has worked with somebody like Frank Mba, for instance, right from Lagos State here. Frank Mba, I'm not an advocate for Frank. I'm just saying, you know, if it's about loyalty, his loyalty has been tested. You understand what I'm saying? Over the years, they have worked together. He has been first PRO. He worked very well in Lagos State and all that. Worked with several governors here and all that. So he's also a good Lagos boy. This thing, for the optics, they could have at least just picked him out. There are so many others, you know. Pick somebody else, but you just come one Yoruba man to another Yoruba man. It doesn't sound too good, You know, so although the Egbetokun has finally been has been removed, you know, it's long overdue, over 2 years overdue, you know, or more. But and then the person who has been now, guess what? He was born April 1966. That means he'll be 60 by April. And unless I'm wrong, and I'm open, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I think the retirement age is supposed to be 60 or 35 years, whichever one comes first. This person you are appointing should be due for retirement again by April, because it should usually be by your anniversary in civil service. Okay? So, at 60, which means by April, he should be due for retirement. But guess what? He will not be retired. We are going to lose 8 DIGs now because of him. Now they are going to keep him for 2027. Why do we keep doing this?
So let's look at insecurity in focus. Yes. Yeah. So do you think this new leadership will change the whole narrative? Okay,
this is me just trying to be on the lighter side now.
Okay.
The new IG has a black Dan in judo. Is it black Dan? I don't know what this is, but it's a judoka. The national champion, he has represented Nigeria. So he's a judoka. So if fighting crime is by judo, then we have the best man for the job. just be on the light side. So, but we know it goes beyond judo or beyond martial arts. I don't know what he's bringing to the table. Not here to. I think that everybody who gets a job, I believe that power ultimately comes from God. So I'm not going to fight his appointment. It's just like I talked about this. So it's not sound right, and it discourages those in authority. Question.
Okay.
The main cause of corruption is because I was looking at his background. I think I forgot. I don't know where he worked in intelligence and all that. And I think intelligence is very, very important for policing. We had, among some of the other DIGs, we had some who were champions in community policing. One of them in particular was very, very good at it, and he received an award for community policing. I don't remember his name now. But this one, I think, is an intelligence person. And so intelligence is very important for police work, because you're only as good as the information that you have and that's at your disposal. So I'm hoping that when it comes in, you'll be able to deploy some of that information and that experience, you know, in the policing duty. And what happens when you're on the block, they come one point. They want to turn things around. They want to come up with fresh ideas and all that. The fact that he fought corruption, I'm hoping when he comes, he will fight corruption. He fought Egbetokun, was seen to have been one of those who was exposing what was going on in the system. I'm hoping that it will mean that he will come in and want to also perhaps clean up the urgence table. I'm hoping that happens. I'm also hoping that shake the system in a way that would make it to work. Obviously, to change commissioners, to reassign them. So, but we have these early days. Good thing, like I said, we have seen everything he can do. Nothing more than what he's done already. So, a new injection of a new blood will obviously mean better news.
So we are hoping that this new leadership will bring security there.
We can do. I tried to look around. I didn't see standing that okay. You say okay, it's a crack detective, you know, or like I mentioned one who was, you know, standing community policing fella. All I saw outstanding in his case was that he was a sportsman, you know. But like I said, you don't take it away. First, you become a DIG by doing. You have done all the cause. He merits to have gone to that point.
I mean, a lot of persons are actually excited with the fact that the Egbetokun actually resigned, and now has taken the position, or is now the new IGP. For instance, Shore. Okay, let me use Shore as an example, because he had an issue with Egbeto. You know, some persons cited.
Shore is excited about.
There were other persons too, especially Shore, because I saw a video of him. You know, he drove to when he got to the office, the police station there. He got there. He was asking, "Oh, I want to see the new IGP. I want to see." I mean, Egbetokun was still there, and he was like, he wants to see the new IGP, and the person he met there, oh, the new here yet, we're here, and he was like, it's what I mean. Where's he's still doing that? And he got a lot of people saying that, is it because of the issues with him, or the house with him, that is office? Maybe there's that we know.
No, see, I think the thing to understand is this. For Shore is a victory, not just for him, but for the Nigerian people. Because ab initio, he has been against the tenure elongation of Egbetokun. It is illegal, it is wrong. Well, I don't know what the illegal is right, but it is wrong. The man's tenure is already due. He's supposed to have been retired or to have retired. He refused to retire. We shouldn't be talking about resignation. We should be talking about retirement. Yes, huh? Resignation is what it is. Why don't you resign? He has to resign. You know, you caught with fingers in the teacher. That's exactly what it is. The man ought to have, you know, and while still there, benevolent, you are enjoying benevolence, and you are still going to use your son. I use the word allegedly because you are on a TV station. Okay. Using your son allegedly to steal money that belongs to Anambra people. It's wrong. I hope the investigation, this doesn't just end. The matter is invested, and that, you know, we go to see that the matter is taken to the roots. You understand what I'm saying? So Shore's reaction is normal, it's okay. First, the man he wanted out, who should have been out, not because he wanted him out, because that's the right thing to have been done. The man who ought to have been retired a long time ago, but refused and stayed put courtesy of the president, is finally out. That's number one. Two, the man who used his son to want to collect money of the Anambra people that was meant for security for Anambra State, using his son, and then he brought it out, and then the man tried to fight him and suppress it, and got court judgment against him and started victimizing him. That thing is out. Finally, victories. So, if Shore was a party, it's And that's why, so if you see him gloating, it's also okay. It didn't matter who. It's not about Disu, it's just the fact that finally the has.
All right, Victor, could this up for how I said?
We're not praying about potential. But when you talk about leadership, now, let me look at various levels. If it's leadership at this level of say, yes, there's a problem, cannot affair. Yes, you are president and all that, but in the military, let them run their things in normal way. Civil service, let it run the normal way. Don't come and disrupt the system. When you disrupt the system, you will mess up things and it will discourage people, it will encourage corruption, it will discourage productivity and all that. So leadership can be a problem, it's not properly managed. But at the police level, leadership be a problem where you have a person who it encourages impunity when you think you have politicians backing you and you think you have a godfather somewhere, and so you can do and undo, which is what we give a man courage to go and collect money that is meant for security for a whole state government. State government security money, you want to divert it into personal use. Now, first there's a problem there.
Realistically, Doctor, will a change in leadership improve?
Okay, so that ties in with your last question. Now that brings more clarity to it.
Yeah.
Everything rises and falls with leadership, obviously. Like I said earlier, Egbetoku has run out of ideas. And when a fresh person comes in, they obviously come in with their own ideas and all that. And I can tell you that any team is as good as it. So if you have the right person there, if you can scale it down, everybody down the line will want to adapt to the new leadership style. If a man who gets there, I guess what this is what happens when people get appointments in government. As soon as a man comes in, then 2 or 3 people, usually the director of finance, finance administration, then one key star at the top. The first they do is they test the politician.
ITV, certainly the best.
it will kill morale.
You think so?
Yes. What the precedents will kill morale. Geez, this is why one day, you know, people have been appointed. Now people have lost that ambition is dead. 8 of them. Do you understand? They just go there because you go right down, Peter. You do tribalism, nepotism, and everything. Cities now.
ITV, certainly the best.
A beautiful morning. Welcome to the news update on Independent Television. I am Ehoy Davis. Former presidential candidates Peter Obi and some chieftains of the African Democratic Congress narrowly escaped an assassination attempt during a violent attack on Tuesday at the residence of former Edo State Governor and ADC national leader John Odige Oyegun in Benin City. The incident occurred during a crucial meeting of the ADC leaders, where Mr. Obi was in the state to officially receive the former Labour Party governorship candidate for the 2024 Edo State election, Olumide Akpata, along with his supporters into the party. Donald Ahimir has details.
The meeting at Chief John Odige Oyegun residence GRA Benin State proceeding peacefully when suddenly gunshots rang out, forcing attendees including presidential candidate of Labour Party Peter Obi to scramble for safety. The assailants fired sporadically at the premises, damaging vehicles parked outside and leaving bullet marks on the gate and perimeter fence. Earlier, there was also a reported invasion of the ADC State Secretariat on Ogbilaka Road, where party leaders had gathered for Mr. Akpata's procession. Several people were reportedly injured during the disturbances. In response, Peter Obi urged party supporters to remain calm and called on security agencies to conduct a thorough investigation into the attack.
We'll make a formal complaint, and I assure you this cannot be true at all. We have a country. Yes, and we are a part of the country. Exactly. You know, we cannot have terrorism terrorizing the country and have officials in government terrorizing citizens. It's unacceptable. You can see several cars were damaged and everything.
Similarly, the residence of one Mr. Patrick Omoyegi Yamu, chairman Woten Oedo ADC at number 35 Mobile Road, was also invaded, where his properties were destroyed.
The same thugs rush into my building, rush into it, and start beating everybody. Stab me, stab my daughter, beat up my wife, everybody, destroy all the chairs and tables.
At the time of this report, Edo State Police Command is here to comment on the incident. From Benin, Donald Ehiminyen, ITV News.
Edo State's lawmakers have passed a vote of implicit confidence in Governor of the state, Senator Monday Okpebholo, over what the parliamentarians described as uncommon massive human capital and significant infrastructural development across all sectors and states, achieved in less than 2 years in office. Assembly correspondent Joy Obarsiagman reports that the lawmakers also on Monday received a letter from Governor Okpebholo to consider Oshimale's ex-aide, Andrew Momodu, as commissioner designate.
The legislators finally resumed plenary on Monday, February 23, 2026, with votes of confidence in Governor Monday Okpebholo, citing significant human and infrastructural development achieved in less than 2 years.
At times, I will sit down to go through the budgets. I will always imagine where is it getting the extra money to do all this work. We just came back from a function where moving machines given to all the local governments. Anybody advising the governor, I think, advising him very well.
Lawmakers took turns to praise Governor Okpebholo for fulfilling his campaign promises.
Mr. Speaker, you recall in this house when I stood up and moved a motion to say to get to my constituency, to my village, it takes me about 4 or 5 hours. But as of today, Mr. Speaker, less than 45 minutes, I'm already at home in Ewobanusa.
As the chairperson of the Security Committee, he has been working tirelessly. The anti-courtesan law, the big broad missiles that was passed, and what he's doing. As a mother, the women of Edo State, we are rejoicing because Edo is not calm.
Additionally, the lawmakers received a letter from Governor Okpebholo requesting their consideration of Andrew Momodu as commissioner designate. Speaker of the 8th Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, urged the Benin Electricity Distribution Company (BEDC) to stop estimated billing and meter residents. From Benin, Joy Obaisiagbon, ITV News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has hosted state governors to a Ramadan interfaith iftar dinner, continuing his tradition of breaking fast with political leaders during the holy month. The governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, was among the governors received at the Aso Rock Villa for the interfaith breaking of fast, also known in Islam as iftar. Government House correspondent Kingsley Uchegbu reports.
Hours after the successful handover of construction equipment procured by acting chairman of the 18 local government councils in Edo State, Governor Okpebholo is in Abuja on the invitation of President Bola Tinubu for this year's interfaith breaking of fast. Governor of Imo State and chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Senator Hope Uzodinma, led other governors from across the federation to the event, which marks the third consecutive year President Tinubu has convened governors for a symbolic fast breaking at the Aso Rock Villa. Vice President Kasim Shettima and Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, joined the President at the iftar. Also in attendance were members of the Federal Executive Council. President Tinubu used the occasion to promote national unity and strengthening cooperation across party lines. Kingsley Uchegbu, ITV News.
Tragedy struck the Idwa community in Asan West local government area of Edo State on Monday night as gunmen suspected to be kidnappers invaded the residence of Chief Chima Jacob Ogboy. He was shot dead, his wife was injured, and 2 of his children abducted. Edo Central correspondent Chris Omije, who visited the community to assess the situation, reports.
It was on Monday night when gunmen suspected to be kidnappers attacked the home of Chief Chima Jacob Ogboy, a palace chief of Idua Kingdom. The attackers reportedly shot him dead on the spot, injured his wife, and abducted his 2 daughters.
Like I was buying something and I just received a call twice. So my sister just called me. They have shot that deal. The next day I just come home and saw my father lying down with a gunshot on the mouth. Like just everything just scattered. Like I was so surprised. What is going on? What is going on? And I discovered that my mother even used cutlass to injure my mother this side, forehead, both here, and hit my mother badly. Even with breast, even the teeth, they used gun and hit my mother, and it's very painful thing.
The entire community has been thrown into mourning as elders and residents gather to deliberate on possible steps to secure the release of the abducted children and address the root cause of the attack. The Onoji of Idua, His Royal Highness Alhaji Amendu Momo, appealed to the Edo State government and security agencies to urgently come to their aid and strengthen security in the area.
Some group of about 4 of them, they came to one of our chief house and they shot him. Went away with 2 of the daughters. Nigeria police and the civil defense, both the army, they all came to this place yesterday night. Even this morning, they were still here. We need assistance in this area. I've been crying that the insecurity issue in this area, government should come and assist us.
Very, very sad that government tried to make sure that there is security in our land. And since then, it has been calm. But it's like they have gone to reinforce again now. Only for them to come now to strike from Idua side, and they just killed the man.
While appreciating the state government's effort in tackling the insecurity, community members lamented the growing menace of suspected herdsmen attack on farmland, which they say has heightened tension in the area. From Idua community, Chris Omije, ITV News.
This is where we'll call it a wrap on the news update on Independent Television. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ikoy Davis. Good morning.
some days, there comes the Ugemobo Festival, which the Oba celebrates outside the palace gate. A pavilion is built of red cloth where rites are performed to drive away all evil spirits still unsatisfied by the year's sacrifices. The Emobo Festival is to commemorate an event in Benin history which dates back to 1504 AD.
Yari yari, Oba Tope!
The Oba of Benin added a colorful mood to the year's celebration as he walks round the city center amidst cheers.
morning. And this being its TMI social trends on, so I also get reaction about chicken. Okay, would be taught often the President Ahmed Tinubu in where he says he was seen assuring Nigerians that his government will go through the establishment of the state to combat insecurity measure in the way. So please wait to see so under this particular post, a lot of persons saying it is not just about coming out to say it. Will these laws be implemented, or will are we going to see action? Not just about talking, we want actions. Let's take a look at the video, and then before we go to the reactions.
It's more work, including my son, the farmer from Niger. There are lots of complaints and commendations coming from all angles. They will come from this at me too. As we brother and together to rescue this country, the best is yet to come to Nigeria.
Interesting. Let's take a look at people's reaction about this particular video. This person said, "No nation prosper without security. Strengthening Nigerian security architecture must be an urgent priority. Economic growth, human capital development, a long-term stability depend on it." All right, let's take a look at another reaction. Oluwafemi says, "State police will rather go after Yahoo boys and than combat terrorists. They may even sell their weapons to terrorists." In support of Tinubu's government, I still believe that one of its greatest sources will be state police if it could successfully allow it. Let's take a look at some reaction. There's another person says, "Which one is pledged again me? You pledge before you rush. You pledge before you rush. Sign electoral law." Okay, let's take a look at another reaction. Big step if implemented well. Nigerians just want to see real change, not headlines. Okay. That is for that. We're still on CMI Social. Our next story, a video of and it's in the Constitution that you don't drink and drive. While they're driving, and just take a look at the before we go to this.
When did you arrive for this country? Yesterday. You arrived from Germany? No. We've driven from England. You arrived from England to Nigeria yesterday? We came from Benin. Benin Republic? Benin into Nigeria. Okay, you drive with this car, right? How many days are you going to spend in Nigeria? Pardon? How many days are you going to spend in Nigeria? We don't know.
We have
how many days?
30 days. We have 30 days.
30 days. From here, which country are you going?
Cameroon.
You go by car?
Yeah.
And they've arrested you.
Why?
We don't practice this.
Yeah, but we're just temporarily. We're only.
I mean, we really do not have time to show you the full video, but you can go on the internet to see the full video. I mean, there are some questions the police officers was actually asking this tourist, and a lot of persons on the comment section that it is actually necessary. Let's take a look at the comments. This person says, we're just tourists. Okay, tourists, those people that used to catch animal in the bush. This is so embarrassing. It got to a point where the police officer actually made the statement. He asked the people, who are you guys? And they said, we are tourists. And the police officer says, oh, tourists, those people that used to catch animal in the bush. Interesting. This is actually embarrassing. Okay, this other person says, he actually stated well, some questions are valid. Try traveling by road through your European border and see what you objected to as a black person. But the ending was poorly executed. Take a look at another reaction. This other person says, what a clown. Daniel says, what a clown. Just look at how it's poorly representing the uniform and Nigerians. This is more like an interrogation. What has tourists got to do with bush? And what is his business with their relationship status? Or how are they going to buy fuel? While on their journey, left his job and started harassing foreigners. Let's take a look at that's another reaction. There's another person, Warrior of Lagos, says, more, this is why we need effective governance, because I don't think there's any way in a civilized world where a police officer will interrogate commuters with such baseless questions. Make unnecessary remarks like tourists catching animals in the bush, and on top of it all, offer to haul for a dog. Take a look at some man insult cause their white black man problem. How they also harass Nigerians and other people in their country. Okay, let's have a reaction. There's another person campaign says the law says don't drink and drive, but police at Nigerian police men want to buy alcohol for a driver driving on the highway. Of all countries in the world, God wants to bring alcohol. Interesting. This says they operate German where how they've driven Nigeria. Projections are likely. Are we satisfied with how he earned those? No. Was this display? Absolutely not. Okay, let's take a look. That is all the reaction for that. Our next story we'll be looking at today, we saw what happened at Edo State yesterday. Peter Obi and Odigye escaped alleged assassination attempt in Edo State. We saw dogs attacked and opened fire on the convoy of Peter Obi in Edo State, Nigeria. You know, and this particular video, and a lot of people talking on the internet, coupled to the fact that the Edo State government governor made a statement earlier saying that whenever Peter Obi is coming to the state, Edo State, he should, you know, consult the security personnel, like let them know that if he didn't let them know that they're not, you know, they're actually not going to. I mean, this particular video got a lot of people talking, coupled to the fact of because of the statement he made earlier. You need to let us that you're coming to the Edo State before you can come in. And a lot of persons have been talking about this particular video. So the
of the state, and you can see what happened in front of his house.
All right, thank you, Messalina. Well, this is how we round up the program today, this morning on ITV. My name is Evan Zunokugie. On behalf of my co-anchors in Benin, Anoluwakbo and the Wisdom Show, we say thank you. So until the same time tomorrow on the same program, goodbye and God bless you.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.